Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be talking about gas, bloating, the reasons why we get it, all the good stuff, because gas is very, very common these days. Pretty much everyone will suffer with gas and bloating throughout their lifetime. So it's something that I want to talk about and something that I want to discuss. Also something that I've done a lot of extensive research on. Nala's asleep, so hopefully I can get through this very quickly while she is asleep and she doesn't wake up. Knowing her, she will wake up like in the middle of something very important because that's just what she does. It's what babies do. Usually it's like you sit down to eat and then they'll wake up and cry. She might be with us through majority of this video. I wrote down a lot of notes, so let me get to that. Okay, so first of all, I just want to put a little disclaimer out there. I have no qualifications in this field, but I have done, as I said, very extensive research, and I will put all of the research that I have done down below so you guys can go check it out for themselves. No, it's not just Googling, but actually going onto websites that post scientific articles, meta-analysis, systematic trials, controlled trials, where actually doctors get their information from. So if you do want to do some research for yourself because you don't believe what I'm saying, I highly suggest you go do that. If you comment down below with a biased opinion without doing any research and just start attacking me, I'm just going to delete your comment, because I did post a reel about gas and about bloating the other day, and it got a lot of hate, and people just don't want to hear the truth. People are very biased because bloating is something that's deemed as normal these days. And basically in my reel I was saying we need to stop normalizing bloating. Basically, bloating is a buildup of gas within our stomach and our intestinal tracts, but that can be caused by a multitude of things. The main one I want to get into is food and the food that we're eating and consuming. But first of all, I just want to ask the question, is bloating a good thing? From the research that I've done, medical professionals say no, it's not a good thing. Basically, it's just your body reacting in a negative way to what you are consuming. But I'm just going to quickly stop there and say that you can get bloating if you have endometriosis. You can get bloating if you have celiac disease. You can get bloating if you have IBS. If you have an array of other diseases, can cause bloating. And if you do have those things, I would suggest to go read the book Fiber Fueled. Hang on, let me get it. It's right here. Fiber Fueled by Will, I can never say his last name right, Bulschwitz. I think that's how you say it. Go buy this book. This book is amazing. I will link it down below. You can buy it on Amazon. I don't know if he has an audiobook or something else, but you can buy it from other places other than Amazon if you don't want to buy it from Amazon, because Amazon's kind of bad. I would suggest getting it from somewhere else, but they do sell it on Amazon. Yes, please go read this if you have any disease or if you have any gut issues or anything like that. This book is magic. I really want to read it a second time, but right now I'm reading The Proof is in the Plants by Simon Hill at the moment, which is an incredible book. I'm like not even halfway through it. My mind is just blown. He is incredible. And he always refers back to this book as well because he loves it too. Will is one of his closest friends. He has heaps of videos on YouTube. He also has a website. You can find him on Instagram. I don't know what his name is on Instagram, but I'm sure if you search his name or the Gut Health MD, I think it is, you might find it. So yeah, just putting a disclaimer, those things can cause bloating, but I'm going to get into other issues that cause bloating for the everyday person. Yeah, but basically bloating is your body reacting in a negative way to what you have consumed if you don't have those other underlying issues. But if bloating is bad, if it's a bad thing, why is it deemed to be good? Why is it deemed to be normal? If it's bad, it can't be good, right? Now it's normal to be overweight. I'm pretty sure it's 1 in 2 people are overweight these days. And is being overweight a good thing? No, it's not necessarily a good thing. Usually it means you either live an unhealthy lifestyle, you have disease, or you have gut issues. And is that a good thing? No, it's not a good thing. It's because our Western diet has driven us in this direction of living an unhealthy lifestyle and creating these problems within ourselves. We need to stop normalizing things that are bad to fit an agenda or to make us feel better about our health, our own health issues. A lot of people will come at people that are saying this information because they feel bad, because they get it themselves and don't know that it's a bad thing because it's deemed as normal these days. And so many people in my comments section were saying this information can hurt young women because it's basically showing them that what they're eating is bad, they'll end up restricting, blah, 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 blah. But on the other hand, isn't turning this bad thing into normal even worse? Because then again, these young women are going to think, oh, my bloating's normal, my gut issues are normal, my digestion issues are normal, and continue living their lives. And if you continue on that track, usually it'll create other health issues. So wouldn't you rather deal with the issue now, deal with the hard fact that what you're eating's bad, and get on a healthy lifestyle, reduce the risk of getting all these other things? But anyways, moving on, just had to get that out of the way because bloating is not normal. Yes, a lot of us get it, so many people get it, but that's because we have, as a society, we have gone in a direction that's unhealthy and it's causing all these problems. The only time I ever get bloated is whether I eat too much, or I drink water too fast, or I eat heavy carbs or processed foods. Those are the only times I get bloated. On the everyday, I don't get bloated because I'm eating the way my body wants me to eat and the way that's good for my gut microbiota. But please make sure when you're doing research about this or about any health problems that you want to research, make sure that what you're reading, whatever you're listening to, whatever you're watching, has scientific backing. That is super important because anyone can say anything, right? There can be websites online from Greg down the road that wrote up his opinion and assumption on, say, fiber, for example. But you need to make sure that has proper scientific backing. If it doesn't, get rid of it. I see a lot of people just Googling things and looking at the first thing that comes up on Google and be like, yep, that's correct, without even researching if it is correct. I know a family doctor who says that red meat is anti-inflammatory. That has zero scientific backing. I researched and researched and researched to try and find one article saying that meat is anti-inflammatory. Couldn't find one. And he's telling these people, all of his clients and the families that are coming into his practice and all over his social media, that meat is anti-inflammatory. I don't know where the heck he gets his information from, but yet people are listening to him because he is a qualified doctor, yet has zero scientific backing to what he's actually saying. I'm getting super carried away, so I'm gonna just continue and get into the causes of bloating. There's a whole wide variety of causes of why we get bloating, so I'm going to get into that now. I've written all of them on my phone. I have so many. Number one, I've got carbonated drinks. Obviously, that's a given. If you're drinking air, that has to come out somehow. So either you'll get gas, but most of the time you will burp it up. Majority of the stuff that you burp up is just gas that you have swallowed. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, but carbonated drinks can cause disruption in the stomach and cause painful gas. If you do like carbonated drinks, there's nothing wrong with having like one or two. I like kombucha, doesn't really give me any bloating. I just kind of burp it back up, and there's nothing wrong with that. The second one is constipation. There's two types of constipation. So there's mild constipation and mild to severe constipation. A lot of people actually don't know that they're constipated. You can have a bowel movement every single day and still be constipated. This is basically where your body, you're releasing 80% of your poop and the other 20% is kept in your bowel. These figures aren't exactly correct for everyone, but I'm just giving an example. So say 20% is kept in your bowel and then you'll poop again, another 80% comes out, 20% is still stuck in there. And this can be caused by all different things. And usually if you're constipated, you will have gas and bloating. That is just a given. Majority of people who have gas and bloating and struggle with it consistently usually are constipated. So I have a few tips here for mild constipated people to help relieve that. So usually once you relieve the constipation, the gas and the bloating will go away. The first one is drinking water and staying hydrated. That is a given. If you're dehydrated, nothing's gonna flow properly. It's basically the water will help kind of drain out any excess poop that you have and help your bowel movements to become more consistent. The second one, increasing fiber consumption, but slowly. So if you're constipated, you don't want to just eat a whole ton of fiber because usually that will block you up more, but adding in some fiber can help get things going, but very slowly. Third one is exercising and moving your body. The more you are moving, the more your bowel will be moving as well. If you have an office job, I would suggest doing some exercise, or just for the everyday person, even just like doing gardening or going for a walk, or just doing like a 10-minute HIIT session in your lounge room can help. Usually if you exercise, that will help get things moving as well. But the second one that I want to talk about is mild to severe constipation. I would say to hold off on the fiber, not permanently, but for now. because if you're consuming a lot of fiber, that will just block you up even more. I would definitely suggest to go see your doctor if you have severe constipation. Treat that with some laxatives or something like that just to get it all out. You need to be flushed out for that gas and bloating to go away. It can cause, severe constipation can cause really, really painful bloating, a lot of stomach aches and things like that, which we don't want. So yeah, I'd suggest just adding in fiber slowly, but definitely go see your doctor to sort out that severe constipation issue. The second one is magnesium before bedtime. Magnesium before bedtime can basically just help get things moving. Magnesium can really help with that, and it also aids in a lot of things, especially your sleep, can help you have a better sleep. So I'd suggest having magnesium before bedtime. Third thing is, once you actually get the bowels moving and you have more consistent bowel movements, then I would suggest to increase that fiber to get to a healthy level of fiber that you're having throughout your day. All right, now we've dealt with constipation. The third one, I don't even know, but that is stress. Stress can definitely cause gut issues, which can then lead to bloating. Not so much gas, I would say. That's more to do with what you're eating or constipation or whatever, but stress can definitely cause bloating because it causes damage to your gut microbiota and basically puts stress on your gut microbiota. So someone can be completely healthy, be eating a very, very healthy whole food plant-based diet and still have a damaged gut because of stress. This has been widely scientifically proven. If you are having painful bloating yet you're doing everything right, then I would try reducing your stress, meditating, doing things that you love, just not focusing on the negative stresses of life, but kind of just flowing through life with those stresses and dealing with them as they come and not putting so much pressure on yourself. But that's a whole other story, but stress can definitely cause bloating. Another one, overeating and binging. A lot of people do this where they restrict their diet so much because they want to lose weight, or they restrict their diet because they're so busy and don't eat, and at the end of the day they end up overeating or binging on unhealthy foods. So usually when I don't eat and I'm super hungry, I'll go straight for that packet of chips, or I'll just be like, I'll just quickly cook up some pasta because I'm so hungry and I just need some carbs. Usually you end up going for that, or you end up overeating because you've undereaten and then you end up binging. That will definitely cause bloating and gas because your body is under stress trying to digest so much food and so much heavy carbs in a short period of time. So your body and your digestive tract is under a lot of pressure trying to digest those heavy carbs and that huge amount of food that you're consuming in such a short period of time after not eating all day. But it basically just causes an overload on your body, and then you end up with gas and bloating because your stomach is upset. Another one that I've heard a lot, especially on my Instagram reel, was onions and garlic. A lot of people get bloated from onions and garlic, and yes, they can make you bloat and give you gas, but these foods aren't necessarily bad for you if they're giving you bloating and gas. Basically, you're getting that due to the fructans in the onions and garlic. But fructans are actually good for you. They're a prebiotic for our gut microbiota and can help our gut microbes become healthy and thrive. So we want to continue eating onions and garlic because they're good for us. But the thing is, a lot of people overdo it on the onions and garlic, obviously because they taste amazing and we like to put a lot of them in our food for flavor. But our body can only handle a certain amount. This can be different for everyone. So I would just suggest, if you are getting bloating and gas from onions and garlic, I would suggest to reduce the amount that you're eating, and usually that will fix the issue. If you reduce that quite a lot and then start adding it in slowly, usually your gut microbiota will get used to it. For example, I eat a ton of onions, I eat a ton of garlic, and I don't get any bloating and gas from it anymore. Whereas I used to when I first changed my diet to, say, a plant-based lifestyle, and I started to incorporate more onions and garlic, that would cause bloating because my gut wasn't used to it yet. But your gut microbiota can change very rapidly and very quickly to adjust to what you're eating. Another one is cooking your cruciferous. I will put the word here, vegetables, and they include a lot of things, but some of the main ones are cabbage, broccoli, asparagus, things like that. If you Google, you'll find a whole list of what cruciferous vegetables are. So these vegetables usually are high in sulfur, which can cause bloating and gas, but this is mainly caused from people having a sensitivity to them. So I would suggest, if you are finding you're having a sensitivity to these foods, if you're having them uncooked, I would suggest to cook them. One of them is kale. A lot of people can get bloating from kale because it's quite tough on your digestion. Whereas if you cook it, or if you massage it with some lemon to break it down a little bit, then usually it's easier to digest and it won't cause that bloating and gas. Or to incorporate it very slowly into your diet. So if you're finding you're eating like a salad full of kale and you're getting bloated, usually it's because of the kale, then I would suggest reducing that kale and maybe adding in some spinach or some lettuce or something like that, and then slowly adding back in the kale, and your microbiota will get used to that food. So for beans, for example, I used to get super bloated from beans, but I was having so much beans at one time, my body just wasn't used to it. So I was getting heaps of gas and heaps of bloating. But let me pause there for a second. Bloating can also be caused by beans because of the lectins in the beans. So those lectins need to be cooked out. So please make sure you're cooking your beans and thoroughly rinsing them, and that way that will reduce the risk of you getting bloating and gas from those beans. But usually if you cook these vegetables, that will reduce the risk and alleviate that gas and bloating that you're getting. Nalu just woke up. Let me go get Nalu. I will be back in 1 second. Look, Baba, we're talking to our friends. Say hi. Alright, I'm gonna try and do this while she's here. This is gonna be very difficult. So another thing is dysbiosis of the gut. First of all, if you do have dysbiosis, then first you want to focus on feeding your gut microbes food that helps them thrive. And from the scientific research that I've done, plant diversity trumps everything when it comes to the gut microbiota. So making sure that you're feeding yourself good, healthy, whole foods, including fruits and vegetables, and reducing processed foods, meat, dairy, eggs, all those things that are bad for our gut microbiota that causes damage to our good microbes. Usually if you heal the gut, then your gas and bloating will go down or reduce a significant amount if you're obviously incorporating everything else. A huge one that I make the mistake of all the time is heavy carbs. Heavy carbs is super hard for us to digest, and our bodies actually weren't made to digest these types of heavy processed carbs. Our body basically struggles to digest them in a fast and efficient way, and therefore can cause that bloating and gas and discomfort in our stomach that we don't want. Also, things like pasta, for example, can cause a lot of bloating and gas because of how heavy it is in our gut and how hard it is for us to digest. So pasta, for example, one thing I do if I'm craving pasta is I will have a little bit of pasta but mix it with a lot of spinach, because spinach has digestive aids in it that can help us digest that pasta a little bit easier, and we're not having a lot of it, so our body's not overwhelmed trying to digest all these heavy and processed carbs. Also, the same thing as like dairy, meat, eggs, all those processed foods. It's really hard for our body to digest, and it's really hard for our body to extract the nutrients from them, and it actually damages our gut microbes and our gut microbiota, and therefore can cause dysbiosis and lead to all these other external issues within our physiological body. I've only got two more. So the second last one is drinking or eating too quickly. Usually if you drink a whole lot of water really quickly, you'll bloat, obviously, because you're drinking a lot of water at once. So I would just suggest to drink your water throughout the day nice and slowly, and eating too quickly as well. So if you drink or eat too quickly, usually you'll tend to swallow a lot of air, which can cause discomfort in the stomach and cause you to bloat or burp or give you gas. Hello. The last one is eating until we're full. So a lot of people think that you need to eat until you can't eat no more, but that's actually really bad for our digestion and our gut. So, and it most of the time causes bloating. So I would just suggest eat until you're 80% satisfied. So that way you give your body a chance to actually digest the food without giving you bloating or gas. So increasing good bacteria in your gut is very important. Don't touch the screen, Bubba. And I'm not going to go into that now, like talking about it. So I will basically just link, I'll just basically write a little paragraph down below of how you can increase good bacteria in your gut. I would suggest to go read Fiber Fueled if you want to hear about that as well, because Will is just amazing. A lot of people say they have a sensitivity to foods. If you're having sensitivity to a food, I wouldn't suggest to completely take it out of your diet, but to reduce the amount that you're eating it and slowly add that back in. And as I said, your gut microbiota, your microbiome gets used to what you're eating over time. So usually if you're getting gas and bloating from those things, if you slowly add it back in, that gas and that bloating will eventually disappear. One more thing before I go is also change in diet. Hi. Change in diet can cause gas and bloating as well. So for example, when I went onto a whole food plant-based diet, I had gas and bloating and diarrhea for like 2 to 3 weeks, and it was nasty. It sucked, and I was like, is this what it's gonna be like the whole time? But basically it was just my gut getting used to what I was eating. So if you change your diet, you will most likely get gas and bloating, and it's not a bad thing that you're getting that over that period of time. It's not a good thing that you're getting that gas and bloating, because it's uncomfortable and it feels terrible. But I would say that is the only good time to get gas and bloating. If you're switching to a healthier diet and you're getting that, it's basically just your gut getting used to it. But I'm talking more within the everyday, you know, oh, I'm eating pastas, I'm eating all this, I'm eating too quickly, I've got constipation, I've got this, I've got that. That's not good, and it shouldn't be deemed as normal, because it's a bad thing that's happening within our body. It's our body reacting in a negative way to what we're consuming. Lifestyle factors like stress can contribute to that as well. What are you doing? Just like lifting up her shirt and like scratching her belly. Is it itchy? But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to end this here because it's 12 o'clock and I need to make lunch. But I hope you enjoyed. I really hope you learnt something from it. If you do want all the references, I will link it down below for you guys. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below, and also most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you guys know every single time I post, and I shall see you all very soon. Bye. Mwah.